to another episode of Cowboy Nation Live. And ladies and gentlemen, don't you know we had an exciting week this week? Say it, say it, say it. But we have our special guest, Big Tiz, in the house, and we also have something very extra special for you tonight. So stay tuned. But you all know him, Big Tiz from Steeler Nation Live. Let's give it up. And before we do that, let's just talk a little bit about why we have the pink tonight, because we're celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month all October. So a lot of the stuff you'll see will be pink to honor the survivors, as well as the families that went through with the survivors to survive. That's what they did. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring in Big Tiz. Come on in, Big Tiz. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Big Tiz.
What's up, Cowboy Nation? What is going on? It's your boy, Big Tiz. Hey, my brother, I appreciate you having me back again on Cowboy Nation. Everything was good for you, Cowboys. You got off another win, brother, and you're looking good.
Man.
And one thing I would tell you, it was a huge win versus the Carolina Panthers, Ken.
Yes, it definitely was, because even though McCaffrey didn't play, their defense and as well as their offense, that DJ Moore, that guy is something, but I can't say anything because I am in a great mood, as well as all my other Cowboy fans. Let me hear it.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was a good game for the Cowboys. The Cowboys came into this game, and of course, they were leading in that rivalry, not even really a rivalry, but meeting with the Carolina Panthers. Cowboys win this game 36-28, and it was an impressive showing for the Cowboys. Showing on all sides of the football. On top of that, and number one, the offensive side of the ball was good to see it. And we talked about it the week before about the Cowboys actually having it to where they were spreading the ball around, starting to use the tight ends, and we can see it fully in this game, especially with the fact, Kenzo, that the Cowboys are starting to get that run game gelling. I mean, what could you say when you got your boy Elliott running amok in the secondary at times, gashing holes, and the Cowboys are looking good, Kenzo.
Definitely. I'm not going to say we're going to the Super Bowl and all of that, but we do look like a contender for that run, But, heck, I'm going to say it. We're going to Super Bowl. But definitely, we have something special for you tonight as well. We have a new perspective coming in on the show. You don't know this guy, but he is definitely a die-hard Cowboy fan. I want to give it up for Charles Haro, the Cowboy enthusiast.
Hey, Cowboys Nation. Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a blast seeing you guys just give me an introduction to show me what this show is kind of about, and to tell everybody what the Cowboys really need to do, what they need to get ready to go for this actual run to get to the playoffs and actually get to the Super Bowl and make it really attainable. Yeah, okay, this is going to be a long road, but they're looking good right now.
Definitely. So, Big Tiz.
Yeah, no.
What's the latest, man? What do you got for us tonight? Some stats, man?
Yeah, let's go over some of the stats from that game. Now, the Cowboys, Dak, like we said, was impressive. 14-22, 188 yards. Now, the reason I say I like that with the 188 yards, because it's not the 300 to 400 yards, 500 yards this guy was passing for last season. And, of course, when you do that, the only thing that happens is that the Cowboys are playing from behind. Yeah. And so right now you got them it's well spread offense. Dak 188 yards, 4 TDs. Zeke 20 carries, 143 yards, 1 TD, and my boy Pollard. Now I'm a Steeler fan. Now I'm saying it right now on here. I'm a Steeler fan, but I love Pollard. I think this guy is the next great back, brother. He got 10 for 67, not a touchdown, but hey, it's part of the game, brother. Yeah. And receiving. Amari Cooper, 3 for 69, 1 TD. And like we discussed, Charles, last week, we discussed the fact that the Cowboys, any successful team that's out there, they have to start hitting the tight end. And it looks like the Cowboys are starting to figure that out a little bit. If you had Schultz, 6 for 58, 1 TD. So that tells me that the Cowboys, Charles, are starting to wake up and starting to go to the tight ends.
I mean, I'm thrilled to see that tight end play. I was deciding which jersey to wear before I went into this actual thing. I was going to wear my Witten jersey, the old throwback with the stars on the shoulder. My goodness! But I said, okay,
Oh,
let's usher in a new era. Let's promote some of the new players. And seeing Schultz out there now, granted, in that last game, there were some questionable moments. Okay, where that ball came loose, and that game could have definitely went a different direction. Luckily, it didn't. We're able to not worry about those things that we can forget about that. But moving forward, I don't want to see those kind of mistakes happening. But I see a lot of promise with these young cats.
definitely. Like you said, Charles Schultz, I would have never thought he would be Butterfingers like that, man. He coughed it up twice, and I was like, oh my god,
Right. And we got away with it on both.
both.
Like the first one, his knees
His
down
knee was down.
before it comes out. But then the second one, because of the weird call, like, okay, we're going to stop the play, forward progress, call it whichever you want. The reviews, everybody even said in the booth,
Yeah.
he was not forward progress. That ball was coming out as soon as he got hit.
Got hit,
So,
yep.
as a Cowboys fan, I'm appreciative that we didn't have to worry about that blunder. But also, as a football fan, I got to be real and be like, no, we can't have
Charles,
those mistakes.
Charles, that's our new tuck rule, man. It came untucked, but we tucked it back because we got the ball.
Tuck it back.
And people make fun of the Cowboys all the time, and say Jerry Jones is paying the refs and whatnot. For the past few years that I've really seen the Cowboys excel, we have dealt with a lot of bad calls come our way.
Yes,
So
we have.
for us to kind of get past one or two here and there, that really doesn't change the complexion of the game when you look at the totality. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too. What you say, Big Tiz? You okay with it?
I agree. I agree. The Cowboys did get some bad calls during years before this year. I mean, and the fact is, the Cowboys this year, the difference is you guys are starting to overcome some of those calls, and you're making plays that's turning games around. Now, the only problem that we do have in Charles, we talked offline, and the fact that my big situation with the Cowboys realistically is I don't even think it's the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, as much as I believe it's the coaching staff. And when I say the coaching staff, I don't mean like the whole coaching staff. I'm talking about Mike McCarthy. Let's get it out there on the table. Mike McCarthy. Now, I'm gonna read some stuff to you Cowboy fans because I want y'all to listen. And matter of fact, if you get a chance and you feel like calling in because you getting heated about what I'm saying, being a Cowboy fan. But see, one thing about me, I love football. I love my Steelers, but I love football, and that's why I'm on this show because Cowboy Nation, I'm gonna respect you on the show, and I'm gonna show you much love and tell you the things you need to do to win. Mike McCarthy, 13 plus NFL seasons as a head coach, 125 wins, 77 losses, 2 ties. Now, with that record with the Packers, 2010 Super Bowl win over my beloved Steelers. And now let's get into it. Now let's get to the real important part. In 2018, he was fired by the Green Bay Packers for having consecutive losing seasons, right? Now he's a Cowboys head coach. Now the problems that I have, and I'm going to discuss with you guys, any of you Cowboy guys are out there listening, call us during the show 478-202-4271. We want to hear what you got to say. Now the problem that I have with him is that might cost the Cowboys if he doesn't get it rectified. Is this guy does not know how to use his timeouts. And when I say his timeouts, now if you looked at some Cowboy games versus the Los Angeles Chargers, he almost blew that one. Your kicker had to kick a 59-yard field goal to win that game because it was bad clock usage at the end of the game.
That's true.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it's starting to become a reoccurring fact that I believe in the first half of another game, I think it was this one past or the one before. I'm not positive, but right before half when the Cowboys could have went up by more points, he let the clock run out again. And I don't know what's going on with that situation. And Kenzo, Charles, maybe one of you guys can elaborate to one these Cowboy fans out here because, like I said, those are things, if not rectified now, could actually cost the Cowboys a season.
Yeah.
Guys, you got to pump the brakes just a little bit, okay? There's a lot to be worried about. There's a lot to be worried about, and honestly, as much as I would love to say I want to have a surefire coach that knows when to pull the trigger every play, you have a dozen of those that still don't make the Super Bowl and win, and they have great quarterbacks under their helm. If you look at Mike McCarthy's career, he won a Super Bowl with who people consider the greatest talent of the throw, Aaron Rodgers. Now, people say, oh, he won it because of Aaron Rodgers. But guess what? He's one of a select few people in the entire history of the NFL who actually can say they coached a franchise to win a Super Bowl. He has to have done something right to be able to get his whole team to get to that point. And I don't think everybody's perfect. And so where he has his shortcomings, I hope along the season they can learn how to figure that game management and get along the way. Can it cost us some games? It might, and it probably will end up biting us in the butt later on the line. But as of now, I still have some faith that they can figure it out and they can make it happen. And so far, I feel a spirit with the Cowboys team that even if they make some mistakes on that sideline, between those lines, those players are going to figure out how to make it right. So hopefully they win in spite, but we'll see what happens with that.
All right, Charles. I couldn't have said that better, man. I couldn't have said it any better. But what worries me even more so than that clock management is that when he took Trayvon Diggs out in the fourth quarter and they scored back-to-back touchdowns, I was like, what is he doing? He called it player management.
Atlanta Super Bowl vibes?
Oh, yeah. I was getting there. I was like, oh, here we go. The fail con. Here we go. Dude, I'm telling you, I was third quarter, man. I'm jumping around. I'm hyped. I'm texting Sandman, Big Tiz here. And just fourth quarter come, I'm sitting like a little Miss Muffet biting my fingernail. Like, what is he doing? And when they scored that second touchdown, I was just like two through. I couldn't even be excited at the end of the game like I wanted to be because I was so I was ripped from that one, man. He cut me deep on those calls. Taking them out, I'm just let the man play. That's why you got them.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. And like I totally said, man, if you guys can clean up, I guess right now, if you can clean up the small stuff and some of that, like you said, the clock management and personnel and what personnel should be in games at certain time. What's the correct time to pull personnel? And my real problem with him is that this is an experienced head coach. I mean he's got some years on him that he's been playing, and like Charles said, he had a talent that he was working with. And I don't know. He's just got to find better ways to do things, and you don't want that to bite you in the butt later down the line. Because no matter the way the beginning of the season looks, it can always change near the end to where you're fighting for that spot, and you don't need some ridiculous thing like clock mismanagement to keep you out from getting a championship.
Yeah. And Steelers would know that because they were 11-0 last year, straight. End of the season, I don't know what happened. There's a lot of mismanagement.
Real hard, real fast.
Oh yeah, it did.
And then they stay down.
Oh yeah, believe me. And we're taking the lumps this year too. And the fact is, the Steelers, we got our plethora of issues, and the Cowboys right now, you're flying high, and I gotta respect that. And like I said, you guys got a lot of it. And if you go back to even the season, I got season numbers on you guys. Dak right now, 1,066 yards to this date passing. Zeke, 342 yards rushing this year. And my boy Pollard, 250 yards rushing this year. CeeDee Lamb, 264 yards. Cooper, 258. And Schultz, 201. Now, see, that tells me again right there that you guys right there, you got it over my Steelers. Because you guys right now, you're spreading that ball around the way it should be. And one thing we always talked about offline, Charles, is the fact of the use of that tight end. Yeah, you're right. He did cough the ball up. But this guy, the use of that tight end isn't huge. And we talked about it offline, I think, Kenzo, last week.
Yeah, we did.
Great teams who use that tight end, bruh, those are teams that are successful. Go to the New England Patriots. Much as I can't stand Brady, I love football. And I'm sitting there saying, I can't stand Brady. But the thing is, I can't stand him. But in the New England Patriots, on that whole dynasty where they won things, I can't even name the other receivers. All I can name is
Yeah,
Gronk.
Gronk.
it's true.
I mean, yeah, no matter which way you look at it, use that tight end, Charles. You're gonna win your championship. That's all to it.
And I think we have tight ends that could actually do that. They don't need to be flashy. They don't need to be playmakers. They don't need to be any of those things. They need to work on their blocking and just keep on catching.
I like it. I
Touche.
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Touche.
I like this man. I like him.
You like
I
that? Let me ask both of you gentlemen, man.
Okay.
Today we got some news, disturbing news, which I didn't think he was that great myself. Big Tiz, we talked about it a while, but they let
Right.
Jalen Smith go. Any thoughts on that, fellas?
If I could just this one was one of those players where I once considered buying his jersey. Him and Vander Esch, when they were in their prime together, they were something else. They were putting in work.
Yeah.
And now when you look at Jalen Smith on the field, people constantly say, well, he had 10 tackles. He had 11 tackles. But those tackles were after the yellow line. You know what I mean? And I'm not really a fan of that. As much as I'm excited to see the rah-rah that he comes with. And granted, this team might miss that. That might be a component that we're missing now. Because he was a leader of that defense. But he didn't really put it on the field in a way that impacted the team. And because of that, I'm not super worried to see him go. However, guys, let's not forget what happened to the defensive players in the division when they leave their team. They like to go to the other guy. So now you got the Giants who like to gobble up defensive players. You got the Washington football team whose defense is now suspect, who's going to need some help. And what better way than to spy on the Cowboys and get somebody from their camp?
From the camp, yep.
Oh, funny you said that because I just seen something online where Jalen Smith is looking to be picked up by the Packers.
Oof.
That's
So,
nice.
so like you said, I mean that can come down to the late season, possible playoff matchup, which would be interesting. And seeing Jalen wearing that green and yellow or whatever it is,
Yeah.
seeing him playing in that.
It would feel weird. It would feel weird for
Yeah.
sure. But I would be
But
more afraid of A-Rod.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
But one of the things we did read about was the fact that Jalen was let go by the Cowboys because of the return of Keanu Neal, and he was
Yes.
taken off the COVID-19 list. So they figured that way we bring him in off the practice squad, bring him in, let him do his thing, and that made him expendable. And like you said, a lot of people have talked and discussed about it. Like you said, making tackles, tackles, but making tackles downfield.
Exactly. And, this really does benefit the team when you start to look at the numbers in the books, because at the end of the day, they're more worried about the future. We have shown now through these first 4 games, we've got a lot of depth. You got Jabril Cox, who's coming up. You've got Keanu Neal. You've got a lot of playmakers now. Micah Parsons, who's going to be the future at that linebacking position. So, you got a guy who's going to be, yeah, exactly. Put it up on Micah Parsons, beat the chest. That guy is going to get stats at every position because he can play all over the place. But, moving forward with Jalen Smith, not having him there is not going to be a huge loss to the defense at all. I mean, they were already limiting his snaps, and they were sending trade offers left and right during training camp going into the season anyways. They already had an idea in their head. They were going to move on from Jalen Smith. And, we're terrible in the run. So with him, let's remove him and put people in that will actually make it better.
Definitely. I've talked to Big Tiz about Jalen Smith every last year, the year before. What did I say, man?
You said he was horrible.
Yeah,
he
came back. It's like he does these antics on the field after he tackles, and there's nothing huge about it,
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you doing that? This dude just ran 20 yards past you. And you just and he's and I when I heard he had 10 tackles, I was shocked last week. But the point you just brought out, Charles, him tackling down the field past the line, that gave us shed some light on it, So I didn't even think about that aspect of it, of where he tackled the guys at on the field. So thank you for that perspective. I needed that.
He was always too slow to actually get there in time.
Yeah. And I know it.
And one last point about him, think about how the future could have been. We had an opportunity to draft Miles Jack, who's part of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Granted, the team is nothing to
Correct.
really be
Yep.
excited about. So he's one of the lone bright stars on that team still to this day. Maybe he's not like a game breaker, but we could have had him instead, and they decided to go with Jalen Smith
Jalen.
and sit
Wow.
him for a year. And so
I remember that.
Yep.
you could say that it was a mistake. It was
Yeah.
a failed opportunity. But here we are with the spoils of riches that we have now. So
Michael
let's
Parsons.
be positive. Let's be prosperous with what we got.
And on that note, let's talk about Trayvon Diggs, who's got
yes.
more yards
yes.
than his brother Stephon Diggs, who happens to be a what? A receiver.
Buffalo Bills. Yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
knows what to do.
He does.
Yeah,
He
he's
he hawks
good
that
with the
ball
ball.
like a receiver, man.
Well,
He
he actually played receiver when he was younger in high school and a little bit, if I'm correct, in college. But
Okay.
there's this old adage: there's so many receivers out there. If you're not great to be the great receiver, but you're really good, switch to cornerback because
Cornerback.
then you'll be a great cornerback. You'll be able to get that pass whenever they're going for it, and you can see that, like that one interception against the Panthers, the second one. That was a receiver's type interception
Yeah.
because he not only jumped the route, he also tipped the ball and was focused. Defensive players lack focus on an interception. He was focused enough while he's falling to shed with that arm and still corral the ball and make it an interception.
Oh yeah, like I said,
Come on, big kids. That's focus.
I gotta agree with you. I gotta agree with you. Like I told you, like I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it wide, baby. I agree with you. I do like this young kid. He's a player. He's a baller. I mean, he's out there. He's got 5 interceptions, I believe, leading your team. The closest player next to him has 1.
Yeah.
So that tells you what kind of standout he is. And right now, I believe you guys did find a diamond in the rough. Now, but let me ask you guys this: Sunday, huge game in the division, mind you, versus the New York Giants. Now,
Oh God.
Zeke, let's look at the injury report for the Cowboys. Zeke didn't practice today because of knee discomfort. He said it was tightness in the knee. I think it's my boy Pollard scaring. But anyway, let's go on. But tightness in the knee. And I believe you also had Amari Cooper, who was out as well. But they both expect to come back and play in this game. Now, we all know historically, the Giants and the Cowboys, they've had some huge, huge rivalries. They've met like 118 times. Dallas leads the series 69-47. They tied twice. I don't know when that was, but it was twice. But you also have to look at it this way. Cowboys have 5 rings. Giants have 4. And also, the Giants have more NFL championships. If you look at everything as a whole ball of wax. But the thing about it is, the Giants got a lot of issues right now going on. And the Cowboys right now, they're flying high on both sides of the ball. They look well. But we all know, I believe this is a trap game. And we all know how trap games go. Because the Cowboys fly high. Then you get a team like this who they really should destroy. But it's a division game. What do you guys think the Cowboys have to do to stay afloat in this game? And not just stay afloat. Not get sucked in and get walked over.
I do not think that this game is a trap game at all. Division games are those games that you don't ever call trap games because players know what they're playing for. That's why those games are always so intense. That's why they're always shootouts. They're big games because they know what they're fighting for, even if they're the worst teams in the league. But with that being said, we just brought up a guy wearing number 7, Trayvon Diggs, right? What's he good at?
Correct.
He's good at getting interceptions. Okay. Now, let's go to New York, East Rutherford, New Jersey, to be precise. Who likes to throw the ball to the other team? Danny Dimes. Now, when you got somebody that's really good at throwing interceptions and somebody that's really good at catching interceptions, I'm just trying to figure out what's going to happen here. You tell me. Come on, big kids. You tell me. You tell me. And then
That's
got
what
Micah
I'm talking about.
Parsons. Come on, that O-line in New York is not as good as people need it to be. You see Saquon struggling back there. Micah Parsons is only going to make that even more difficult. And the rise of Randy Gregory, who we've been holding on to that guy for a long time, hoping that he could unleash his potential, and you've been seeing that happen.
Mm-hmm. 100% agree. Now, let
Gonna
me
be a
ask you
tough
now.
game.
I like that. That was good feedback on that one, and you kind of made me eat a little bit of my words. Kenzo, what is your thoughts on this game versus the Cowboys versus the Giants? And like we said, it's a huge rivalry. You guys, it's been going on for years.
Yeah.
Since the dawn of the old pigskin. So I mean, who do you think is going to win this game? Give us your thoughts on what you think the Cowboys need to do to win it.
Well, I think they need to make sure they go in confident. First off, they need to go in confident and know that mistakes can happen, but they can overcome those mistakes and they can go down and drive the field. But what they can't do is underestimate Saquon. We see Saquon went through a bad injury and is trying to get back onto the field. If he can get himself 75% to what he was before, that Barry Sanders-like mentality is going to take him far. Because that team is good to compete. They're just not great. And it all kind of starts with Danny Dimes. If he turns into Danny Dimes and he's slick with it, he's moving out the pocket and just being shifty and running, which the Cowboys always struggle with mobile quarterbacks. If he gets out that pocket and move, those are going to be problems they present. So we're not going to have Jalen Smith, so we don't have to worry about people over pursuing. Hopefully Keanu Neal can stay in position. Hopefully Micah Parsons doesn't get lost following Saquon, because they're going to be moving him around, but he's going to be the primary follower on Saquon. Let's just hope he doesn't get lost in that space and Saquon gets loose, because if Saquon gets loose, that's what everybody said was the problem going into week 4. If Christian McCaffrey was healthy, that game could have been totally different.
Totally different. Yeah.
So if Saquon is contained, I think force Danny Dimes to throw the ball, and the defense will handle their job. It'll probably be like a 30-27 type game, because they're going to get their scores. I'm not saying they're not going to get their scores, but we're going to figure out how to control that game.
30-27 Cowboys. Beautiful. Kenzo, give us some of your feedback on this game.
On this game, I'm going to say Saquon, it is going to go through Saquon as far as the Giants are concerned. I think I don't think Danny Dimes, in watching him this season, it's what I told you. He has that look like Danny White sometimes, like he's scared, where he's like, he's just like, and when you see that fear, I think Michael Parsons can zero in on it, gauge it, and cause some ruckus for that dude. I think Saquon, what Charles said, if he is, I don't know how, hurt he is, what percentage of level it is, but if he comes out doing what he does, that's what we need to worry about containing, because I think Michael Parsons is quick enough for Danny Dimes, and I think Keanu Neal being helping out back there. I think as far as that part is concerned, I think we got that. As far as scoring, because he's like an Eli, kind of. He could throw some stuff up and it'll be a touchdown. He's like an Eli Manning. And it'll be a Hail Mary that no one ever won in a million chances, and it'll get caught. So
I agree.
That's the kind of stuff that we got to prevent from happening, actually. Keeping the pressure on Danny Dimes and containing Saquon. If we can do that, I think we got this game licked. And I know it's a divisional rivalry, but we just going to take another bite out of that apple, okay?
Give me a score. Give me a score on it, brother.
A score? All right, I'm going to tell you like this. Especially after seeing this week what they were doing. I don't want to go too high, but I think we'll probably hit 35 points, and I think they might get 24.
35-24.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
What say you, Big Tiz?
Now I know for the sake of the show, because we're almost close to the end of the show. But I'm gonna say quickly that I do believe that the Cowboys will win this game. The Giants, to me, and I agree with Charles, and I agree with you as well. The Giants just have way too many issues. You got a generational back, to be honest, that's not going to get used, and he's not being used correctly. Mm-hmm. You got a team that should have went out and drafted linemen. And they go out and they start picking up, I don't know what they picked up in the draft, some receiver or something. But if there's no blocking, a la Pittsburgh, with no blocking, well, then there you go. That's what you have. You got issues. You got a top quality back. We have Najee. They have Saquon Barkley. He barely gets yards. Najee barely gets yards. I mean, they're almost like a microcosm of each other, somewhat. They're both physical backs, good backs, but you got to get that line. And I think that right now the Cowboys is early in the season. You guys are pretty much somewhat healthy now, and more than anybody else in the league, to be honest. And I feel that the Cowboys will feast on that garbage line that the Giants got, and I think the Cowboys will be successful. So I'm looking for something closer with you guys. So I'm thinking like a 34-24 type game. And most of the Giants' points would be garbage points that they pick up near the end, because your coach McCarthy will probably put in
give them 14
guys like
points
me in the third quarter.
He's gonna make some mistakes.
Right?
But just to quickly interject, speaking of coaches, let's not forget who's going to be on the other sideline of the Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
or for the Giants.
That's true.
Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett.
Not to mention it. Yeah.
And last time we saw him, he made us eat crow. And now Dak is strong, healthy. He's back. And he's not going to want Jason to win this one. He's going to want to win it.
Definitely. Good point, Charles.
I like that.
Great point. But Charles, you want to tell the people anything about yourself, man, or where they can find you? Some of the stuff you do, man.
Yes. Well, definitely representing Cowboys Nation, but also I do make a lot of awesome videos that make millions of people online laugh. Yes, they're fun with my girlfriend. Just look us up online. Go on IG, TikTok, or YouTube and look up Tato and Vera. That's Tato and Vira. Tato and Vera. Trust me, you will laugh and you will enjoy the content.
Yes, I've been laughing. I have been laughing, I have to say. And
I just wrote that down, brother. And you got another
Tato and Vera.
Okay.
See, what we love to do is we love to make relatable content that people deal with and go through in their daily life. Nothing that's too edgy, nothing that's too out there, but something that's just like, yep, I went through that. I know what you're talking about there.
That's awesome, Charles. Awesome.
Thank you,
Big Tiz, any final words for Facebook?
Brother, like I said, I just want to say, thanks again for having me on the show. Much love to the Cowboys. You guys should do it. And thanks again for Charles for stopping by the spot and sharing it with us. And that's always great. Checking him out on TikTok. You guys make sure you check him out. That's huge. And guys, like we said, we're going to be here every Wednesday talking Cowboy talk. So you guys join us. New station starting up, so we're going to explode. So get on it. What is it like? I'm trying to think. Like Bitcoin. You better get on early. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. That's it for me, brother.
That's it. Well, we want to thank all you Facebook Cowboy enthusiasts who joined us tonight. And we want to say before we go, in the wise words, the wisdom of. How about the boys? Love you guys. Hey, Charles, hang around, all right? We'll talk to you after the show. Love you guys. See you next week.
Thanks for having me.